Denver Broncos Mile High View. No commercials, no bullshit. The authority on the Denver Broncos.
I cannot see you chopped liver.
Okay, here we go. We got to go through
Guess who's back? Back again.
All right, I'm going to let you tee off on these, Mister. You don't know what you're talking about. Why don't you go ahead and get it off your chest? All the
Well,
credit.
I mean, I'm not gonna go off on anybody. I just want to reintroduce myself. This is Bucketman Scouting Coach Bucketman. For anybody that says I don't know what I'm talking about, I'm just an amateur. You might want to think about what you say before you speak out of your mouth.
Yeah, just so we let everybody know, Bucket Man is out at sea, and he may have to drop out and then come back in. So just be prepared for that. He's high winds, heavy sea. All right, so the film says when you build a team from the inside out versus the outside in, you get what you get, right? This is my interpretation. It was glaringly obvious the Broncos were getting shellacked, their asses handed to them in the trenches, both sides, both offensively and defensively. I'll let you go.
No, I mean, I've been saying this about the Lions for about, what, year and a half, 2 years. They've built their offensive lines to elite proportions that the Denver Broncos can only wish that they had. And I tried telling you folks, to the people that said I was an amateur, this is why the film matters. You want to sit up there and say that my shit's amateur, but again, you guys just look at highlight reels. That's not film. That's not what we do here at Denver Bronco Mile High View, Mile High Bubble, and or Bucketman Scouting. We actually look at the film and we're detail oriented, and we look at things from the inside out, and that's how a game of football is played. So continue to put out your propaganda bullshit. Continue to say, oh, give the refs the game ball tonight. You might want to rethink that as well. I mean, I'm just sick of these fans because these, they're absolutely right. They're just fans, and to be perfectly honest with you. I'm not shaking in my boots and all this, that, and the third. I actually do the work and I actually do the hard work to look at, 31 other teams across the NFL. And I'm not going to, I try telling you folks that if you don't have a team, and, I'll let Shot the Liver tee off here about a team that doesn't turn the ball over, this is the exact thing you're going to get. And the Lions didn't need help from the Broncos. They didn't need help from the refs tonight. They actually came out and kicked the Broncos' ass, plain and simple.
Yeah, that's what I want to discuss is that there are teams with 53 better players than the Denver Broncos. And we were saying that this is a game on the horizon, that once a team isn't making mistakes, isn't coughing the ball up, over and over, mistakes like 12 men on the field just to beat the team. This is what was going to happen with a good team. But this is where I think it's really interesting. This is more overall. Then I'll get into the game a little bit. You got 3 crap teams, right? Let's say you win and somehow you get into the playoffs. Okay. What are you accomplishing? I mean, great. You were 5-11, and now you're in the playoff. That to me would have meant something. Excuse me, maybe 10 years ago. But when you need 12 guys on the field to actually beat a team, a good team, that's coughing the ball up 5. What are we accomplishing here? What I would like to see. These lines, and this is going to get us into the game here. These lines, we kept saying they need to be revamped, and of course, I'd like to see people in the front office go too. But one thing at a time. There was a penalty on the Denver Broncos for an offensive lineman being offsides, and he was. I mean, it was. And I'll admit it was barely, but he was. Sean Payton didn't agree, yelling at Russell Wilson. Okay, it's really Cushenberry's job to check that. Maybe ultimately Cushenberry and Wilson are supposed to talk to each other, but that was a clear-cut example about these lines. Cushenberry, it's his responsibility. Make sure everybody, all the linemen are lined up correctly. Ultimately, it's he's the fall guy, really. And the defensive line was getting pushed, just gashed. Goff could read War and Peace for the most part until they kind of let the foot off the gas there. But you could go to the playoffs and all this stuff. And I would love to watch the Broncos kick the Kansas City Chiefs out of the playoff. That would be great. But at the end of the day, you cannot compete with a team like the Lions when they're playing regular football. So what we have today's NFL is, I want to say something about the Lions too. Why can't the Lions be consistent? If they weren't playing their A game, they probably would lose this game. If they weren't playing mistake-free ball. So I will give the Broncos credit for the most part this year. They've been one of the few teams that have been pretty much mistake-free. And that's why they're bordering on the playoff situation. So, yeah, anything you want to add to that?
No, I agree with you. I think the one thing that they've been better at this year over the past few years is protecting the football, I would say. But again, that's only a minute. I mean, there are bigger issues than just that. And I'm not going to sit up here and be like, oh, the Broncos are just fine. They're 7-7. I mean, I'm not going to sit up here and be like, it's all sunshine and rainbows like most of these fans. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to call it down the middle like it is. And the Broncos got their asses kicked tonight. They got their asses kicked. And I heard all week over the past week and a half, 2 weeks that, I'm a Lions fan, this, that, and the third. I like how the Lions have built their team. That's what I want the Broncos to do. Because look how dominant when the Lions are playing their A game, like you said, and not coughing the ball up, it's looking like this. I mean, it was reminiscent of the Miami Dolphins game.
Yes.
It was that horrific.
Yes.
And you guys sit up here like we turned a corner. We have said time and time again, what's going to happen when you face a team that doesn't cough the ball up and play their A game? You saw that happen tonight on primetime football on Saturday night. Sorry, folks, that might hurt some people's feelings. You can make excuses all you want, the refs, this, that, and the third. But at the end of the fucking day, the Broncos got their butts kicked on both lines of the scrimmage. And We've said for years that the Broncos need to fix their offensive defensive lines. And I want to mention the whole Sean Payton thing. You have the announcers even saying, why is Sean Payton yelling at Russell Wilson? When Tom Nalen 2.0, Kaloy Cushenberry, absolutely fucking sucks. Hey, Pro Football Focus, you're going to give him a 95.1 Pro Football Focus grade in this game? He looked like shit. That's what I'm talking about. That's what frustrates me. Because I'm sick and tired of these privileged ass players that don't deserve the so-called Pro Football Focus grade because their agents and the organizations pay them to do that. And then I expose it this is why the film matters. You can sit there and deny the film doesn't matter, but this is why the film matters to dispel those type of myths.
That's what gets me is instead of fixing problems, just wipe players' asses, give them these Pro Football Focus grades. I'd like to see Slowsy Jewell, and I'd like to see
Randy Gradishar. Yeah.
I'd like to see new linebacking, correct linebacking. Put Baron Browning back in the middle where he belongs.
Correct safety play, please.
What's that?
We saw better safety play from the Lions than we did the Broncos. Oh yeah,
absolutely.
One good play
Absolutely.
Justin Simmons sucks.
He had one good play and we always say he is one good play of the game. One good play. I would have just kept going to that side too, but they didn't have. They could go to any side they wanted to.
Oh, they could run the ball on this team, and I've been saying that for weeks. The so-called top 5 2015-esque defense of these.
Yeah, it's a joke. So what I'm getting at is, do you honestly think when you're going to play, say, Miami, when they're playing their A game, you're going to play the Ravens when they're playing their A game? Teams like this, you really think you're going to beat them? You Philadelphia when they're playing their A game, the Cowboys when they're playing their A game.
I would say Buffalo. I would say Buffalo too when they're playing their A game.
And Buffalo when they are not coughing the ball up 5 times and putting 12 guys on the field.
Yep.
Do you really think you stand a chance with those teams? You don't. And that's what I'm saying. Yeah, you can go to the playoffs. You can beat the Clevelands. You can beat the Minnesotas. You know what I'm saying?
The Bengals.
You might beat the Bengals. You might beat the Texans. In a rematch. You might. I'm not even, personally. I'm not even sure they're going to beat the Patriots. I give them the edge on that. I believe they're most likely going to do it, but I can't say for sure they're.
Well, this is what gets me chopped liver. Everybody's, just put the Broncos in the playoffs. I mean, I'm pretty sure they're going to get in, and it's not going to surprise me one bit if they do, because the NFL wants that rating crap. But again, I just have a question here. When was it, again, you want to say Pat Bowlen be ashamed of us as fans. I don't think he would be happy about what he's seeing on the field, to be perfectly honest with you. He wouldn't be happy that the team's 7-7. He was consistent in getting Super Bowls and having winning seasons year after year after year.
Let's just be clear about something. The only reason they're 7-7 is 2 of the upper echelon teams had to cough it up 5 times and have 12 guys on the field. They couldn't. I want to say this about this game. Everything that the Lions were doing, they were doing on their own merit. They didn't need the Broncos to cough the ball up 5 times. They scored and stopped the Broncos. They did it on their own. The Broncos on their first, was it their first touchdown or was it their second? I'm not sure. I think it was their first touchdown. They needed a pass interference call. They needed to get a pass interference call to get their first touchdown. The Lions didn't need to do that. And it was a legit call. The Lions fucked up, but that's what I'm saying. They didn't need the Broncos to fuck up. They just handed them the L, just right in their face. That's the difference. I mean, what team do you really want? I mean, at the end of the day, what do you want? Do you want to just be happy to be there like the Chargers? And that's the culture. When, even though the Chargers are a worse team than the Broncos, the cultures, it seems like, is the same. When everybody was giving us a hard time from the very beginning, that nobody seems to want quality. They just want excuse make, and they want to get into the hype. That is so alien to an older Bronco fan. That's really alien. We used to call out players and tell them, you got to go, And I think if you just want to do happy to be there appearances, that's fine. But that's, to me, is what the culture now is. But I'm talking about fans, and I shouldn't do that. Yeah. I want to get into the front office. That's what really matters.
Yeah, I agree.
If the front office and ownership want to just be happy to be there, that's what's going to make Pat Bowlen roll in his grave. He wasn't just a happy to be there. That's what got Shanahan fired. Oh, we're 9 wins. We got our 9 wins. No, it's not what this is about. That's why Bowlen would not be proud about what's going on.
That's what got Dan Reeves fired. Come on.
Yeah.
Let's just be honest with it. Let's just be honest. Yeah. That's what got Dan Reeves and Shanahan fired.
Yeah. Is that happy to be there culture. And I mean, you can only, what happens when you have that culture and Sean Payton leaves and Russell Wilson is gone, and now you actually have to try to figure it out.
Well, this is also a correlation to the player personnel, which you and I and Bubbleman harp on each and every year. This again, it's more than just Russell Wilson. It's a 53-man roster for a fucking reason. But we sit here, and I'm looking at a guy like Graham Glasgow tonight, and he's just playing better than he did in his time in Denver. I mean, if that doesn't tell you everything you need to know, I don't know what does. I mean, did you see Graham Glasgow playing like shit tonight? He looked better than Cushenberry and Ben Powers and those guys tonight, and he's in a better, stable organization right now than the Broncos are. Let's just be honest. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. But Graham Glasgow's in a much better situation than when he was in Denver. But you guys want to blame Hackett, Munchak, all these people, Fangio. But again, where is he at? What stable organization is he at right now? And it's Detroit.
Yeah.
I'm being honest. I'm not going to sugarcoat it for anybody. I'm telling you the truth. This is factual information.
I just think there's a bigger problem. I think the thing that we were so myopically on the Broncos. And I think,
yeah.
I think,
yes.
I think what we're guilty of, what we've been guilty of is not looking at the bigger and talking about the bigger picture. Why is it Detroit can't be consistent? Why isn't that the Eagles can't be consistent? Why and this is what it really, you were bringing up, you did a whole video about the state of the NFL. How is it? Look what happened to the Chiefs. The Chiefs are a complete perfect example of today's NFL. What it was when Reed got there and brought in Alex Smith and started developing players and stuff, what was the product? What was the product on the field? Contrast that now with crybabies. It's Mahomes, the Mahomes crybaby show. Reed is just Andy Reid's just he's just taking orders from Mahomes. It did earn that flag, and it's, I know that there's a lot of videos about throwing flags, but what I'm seeing too is like the holding across the board. Again, it was egregious what Broncos were getting away with, and Detroit got away with some holding too.
Yeah, but the Broncos do it consistent. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
it's a consistent.
And these were takedowns. The hold on that there was worse holds that the Detroit did than what they called. That was really ticky-tacky what they called. But compared to what the Broncos were doing, they were taken down and everything. And we've seen this week in and week out.
Yeah, like I've said before, and this is goes back to the state of the NFL. I've said that the product is shit. The you don't get good play anymore. The coaches suck in the NFL, and it's a bad product all the way around. There's no player development taking place. Compare and contrast that to a team like Michigan, Nebraska that want to develop players, not go in the transfer portal like Colorado and buy their way to fucking the wins. They actually build it through the high school ranks and develop the players. Like, you don't get that anymore in the NFL. It's all princess quarterbacks, oh me, pity me bullshit. Taylor Swift me, Sierra me bullshit.
Yeah,
you don't get the good play anymore.
My podcast, my Twitter account.
Yeah, my subscription, my views, my likes,
Yeah, but that's where the NFL is making all this money. It's not even the product anymore. And that's
what Pro Football Focus is a perfect example of that. And I call Pro Football Focus out because they're a fraud organization. They're fraudulent.
Well, they're handing out excuses. They're handing out Band-Aids.
Well, they're handing out stats without any context behind them.
Well, I think it's just fraud all the way around. I think.
Well, but it's again, you and I have said it's that.
Instead of rolling up, that's what I think the Detroit Lions at least represent to a degree. It's even hard in this day and age. That build it from the inside out, roll up the sleeves, and get it. Lions really aren't a hype team. They're not a hype, but they are a victim of the times where I just think that everybody's got the attention of a goldfish. I'm talking players and coaches and everything.
I think it's more of a society thing more than anything else.
I mean, Eddie is lamenting on how bad he says the Saints are the worst team in the NFL. I'd say,
I wouldn't go that far.
Yeah, I'd say look at the Chargers if you really,
Well, just look, you want to talk about a bad team? Just look at the Broncos. All the breaks they've got.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I don't believe in this 53-man roster. And tonight, when teams play their, okay.
No.
Tonight, and Miami's game basically prove our points. If a team plays their A game, doesn't turn the ball over, and stick to what they do best, you get this performance.
Yep, we said it. You're going to see it.
And you guys just blindly follow this PR shit.
Well, and they're going to do it. They're going to do it the next. They got 3 crap.
Yeah, and you know what? Just put them in. Just put them in the playoffs. I expect them to be in the playoffs because the NFL wants them in.
They got 3. They can beat in town. They play a Ravens team that's all clicking on all cylinders, but it doesn't matter. It'll be a victory. See, that's where again Pat Bowlen is rolling in his grave. That's what we're here for.
It's the culture.
I mean, I am guilty. I'm guilty. If I would love to see the Broncos kick the Chiefs out, I don't believe in the Chiefs whatsoever. I think that's
no.
You think I hate the Broncos? Oh, Chiefs are just a fraud, man. They're a fraud.
Well, yeah, that's one thing that I've been guilty of is just a microscope just on the Broncos, not looking at the other, teams. I do my stuff here and there, but the one thing I've done this last half of the season is looking at the other 31 other teams, and it's a fucking joke.
Well, Kansas City doesn't have to work hard anymore because
they got Patrick Mahomes. They got Taylor Swift.
Yeah, he cries.
They got Pfizer. They got Pfizer boy.
Come on. Right. They've got Taylor Swift. They don't need to work hard. They don't need to.
Yeah, just need a shot.
Yeah, they just you go and you cry to the NFL.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think Tom Jackson and Randy Gradishar would have put up with that whining shit?
No, out of I don't know.
Lala Zeta. You think Lala Zeta would have put up with that shit?
30 teams, if you go back far enough, 30
Steel
teams,
Curtain.
Nobody would have put up with that shit. It happened.
Steel Curtain would have fucking demolished this NFL.
No, there would have been the fans, the real fans, and the players all together. There would have been a mutiny about soft hits. They didn't give it. They wouldn't be into Twitter. They wouldn't be into any of that stuff because nobody gave a shit about what anybody had to say. You go and you prove it on the field. That's where you do it.
You don't. You're not Justin Simmons on a fucking podium telling me that. Oh man, we're just.
Yeah, accolades. Yeah, who cares? It's it's the same with
Jared Judy saying like he's the second coming of fucking Jerry Rice. Get the fuck out of here, dude.
Oh yeah, he's Twitter in a way.
Jerry Judy. I mean, granted, you look better in the slot. We've been trying to tell you that ever since you came out of Alabama.
Maybe they've been listening to us.
Yeah. And here's another thing. They don't listen to us, but they're designing blitzes right up the middle of the defense. They're having Jerry Judy in the slot. They're doing 12 personnel.
Well,
but
okay,
you have fans.
And let's give them credit for that.
No, I do give them credit for that.
Yeah, that ain't the content creators. They wanted.
No. That's yours truly, Bucket Man, Chopped Liver, and Bubbleman, right there.
Yeah, but we won't get credit for
because we're amateur.
Well, no, we didn't say all that stuff, even though we're on record saying it, and everybody wants to.
Yeah, we have videos proving it.
I know.
You can't make it up.
You can't make it up. It's incredible. But at least they're trying.
No, I give them credit offensively, defensively. They're still a joke.
Yeah, they are. They're
a joke.
Offensive line needs work. That's the whole thing.
Defensive line.
That's why the winning, it to me is hollow until they get things taken care of. You got 12 men on the field, and that's the only reason you won that game. Kansas City, they fucking
Green Bay.
Well, the refs stopped their final drive.
Mm-hmm.
They were driving and on the last minute there. So they were getting some breaks. So but that the NFL, again, it's all that Twitter, it's all that social media, it's all, look at the promotions they had during that. Oh, look at Monday, what a Monday quarterback or whatever the hell it is.
Yeah.
It's just a bunch of, are they talking about film? Are they talking about X and O's? Are they talking about technique? No.
No, they just, no.
They show you a highlight and they give you next gen stats with no context whatsoever behind any of this. By the way, stats, because you all love stats so much out there, that great defense of the Denver Broncos gave up over 400 yards and all those scores.
42 points.
Yeah, yeah. And granted, one was in garbage time, but the Broncos had one in garbage time too.
Yeah. Well, again, it doesn't, again, this is what I find hilarious. Did the Lions have trouble moving up and down the field on this defense?
Well, they were just trying to run the clock out and scored.
Yeah, they were trying to run the clock out and they still scored on your asses.
Yeah. Yeah.
So don't give me that fucking defense is legit crap.
And like I said, yeah, you're go pound your chest. You're going to beat the
you got a good team coming up next week. Just tell me how great you are. We won't hear you this week, Mr. Crow. We won't hear you that week.
Oh, you mean
this week?
Yeah, the front office. Yeah,
the front office rat. The people that said that my shit's amateur. We won't hear from you all week, and the next week we'll hear from you. So
he'll make a stupid comment. He always does. He'll be stupid.
Oh yeah, with his burner account. Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I make a burner account just to comment. What a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm shaking in my boots totally. But my Detroit, everybody likes to say my Detroit Lions just, kicked the Broncos' ass. So
all you got now is you don't have Pat Bowlen. Pat Bowlen did not put up happy to be there. Gee, we just got that 9-8 record, and God, we're so happy to be there, and we got in just by a thin margin. Yeah. Well, look at considering that it started off so bad. Well, it doesn't look any different from where I'm sitting than the Miami. It looks like the same shit. And even with Minnesota, this kind of started because they made even less mistakes, and they had a tough time beating them. The other team, Texans, didn't make any mistakes, lost. Then they got, they've got the chiffon team, the soft Chargers, the user-friendly Chargers. That's 2 wins guaranteed right there.
Yeah.
Am I supposed to pound my chest like I really accomplished something? No. No, we want a dominant team, and we get so much shit because we want what just kicked our ass, but we can't, we're trumped by a bunch of people that just are happy to be there.
I agree 100%.
And I think that's where the front office is. That's my main point.
No, yes. Yep. Absolutely. Yep.
I think that's where the Denver Broncos, it's not in the Pat Bowlen space anymore.
No.
And it is what it is. What else about that? All I can tell you was it was a trench ass kicking. It's all.
I
know what's going to be portrayed. It didn't happen. It's like the Rams game. It didn't happen.
Oh, like Miami, it didn't happen. Okay.
Yeah, it did. Yes. Well, they told you Miami never happened. We need to look back at that. Well, okay. Again, what are we accomplishing here? That's all. Yeah, you may win 3 more games. True, you may not. There's no
guarantee with this team. Sorry.
Or any team, really. That's the problem.
No. Yeah, but mainly this team. There's no guarantee.
No, there's no guarantee. No. Yeah, it's not going as smoothly as it did on that little ride they had.
No.
And New England's kind of an up and down. New England's kind of a weird team too.
Yeah, they're a weird team. Again, I don't trust the NFL. I don't trust the product. No, so I don't know what team we're going to get next week. I don't know. I don't. But at the end of the day, I've been trying to. Again, you guys, it's really frustrating because I should be getting paid for this. To be perfectly honest with you, we should be getting paid for this chop delivery. I mean, the film that we provide is like. It's not amateur because no one else does it. If I had the time and if I had the fucking resources, I could make way better film than I'm making right now. That's just facts. But I don't have the time. I have to do shit. And
if we could get paid for it, we would probably not just be doing Broncos. We'd probably
yeah.
Yeah, we'd be looking at a lot of teams across the board, looking at techniques and, and asking questions. Where's the consistency? I think there's so much distraction now. I don't think any of these players can even play. And I think Kansas City's a lost cause. I think
it is. It is.
I think what Hunt and Andy Reid had built out there, I think he's totally lost it. It's now Taylor Swift. It's now what's his face's podcast. It's now Holmes commercials. It's you don't have to put any effort out there, and that's why they're coughing the ball up 5 times. But I remember reading something where they were apologizing profusely through the season for their receivers dropping passes left and right too. So everybody's just kind of freelancing it out there. So I don't believe that I think they're a paper tiger too. The Chiefs.
I agree.
So if the Broncos can face the Chiefs, I don't know if that would happen, but if they could and the Broncos kick their ass, then I'd be fine with that. I'd laugh my ass off. I mean, what would fucking Mahomes do? Go and cry a river to fucking Goodell? Would Taylor Swift refuse to do the Super Bowl? I mean, that's what we've turned into now with this NFL product, the football product. It's really sad.
It is. It's very sad, especially from myself who's a coach, just seeing the.
You're not the only coach. There's coaches, former pro football, college. There's a lot of coaches that feel the same way.
No, I'm not.
High school, even.
I didn't. Okay. I don't mean it like that. I'm talking about from a coaching perspective, like looking at it from a.
No, I understand what you're talking. No, totally. But I'm just saying you're not alone is what I'm saying.
No, I know I'm not alone. Just, it's really sad to see. That's all.
Yeah. You're not alone. Yeah, so you got virtue signaling fans, and I don't even want to even go in that space. It's disgusting and it's gross, and it's just not. I like the product. I like to see, technique. I like to see and when I watch these corners for the last 10 years has really been hard. Just it's been really hard. But we saw some good safety work tonight. By the Lions. What we really had to help over the top. There was a Justin Simmons did a good play, and Locke actually had a good play too in the end zone. So they each had one good play.
Yeah, but they weren't consistent. So
they're not consistent. No, that's the problem. They're not. That's what we're trying to explain to people, that instead of these hollow wins that give us these feel good playoff, if we're even lucky to get there. I'd like to build a team that are actual Super Bowl contenders. I guess the bottom line is the Broncos are Super Bowl contenders by any stretch of the nation. The Lions are, if they don't make mistakes. The Broncos weren't making mistakes. They got a fumble. They had one fumble. That's all. One fumble, and they made one mistake down the goal line. But you should be able to overcome that stuff. They still got their ass handed to them.
I agree.
So I guess that's where I'm coming from.
Yep. I got to get back to work here. So,
All right.
Gotta get back to mining the city and
sales.
Yep. Yeah. Be like John Elway, who wanted Pat Shermer. Oh,
yeah. She blows. Yeah.
Get that John Elway home cooking,
I got a name.
Another name. Graham Glasgow, Juwan James.
250 million. Here you go. The treasure trove is yours.
Oh, I just want to say this before we end this. For the people for the front office mainly, that thought that bringing in Ben Powers and Mike McClinchy was going to fix your offensive line. You're sorely mistaken, my friends.
You're lucky. They're lucky. And it's across the board. I'm not going to just say it's just the Broncos. they're letting holding go across the. It's league wide problem. It's the product on the field sucks.
It's crap. I agree.
I mean, the Broncos were. I mean, they were tackling, and not just holding. They were tackling. They still couldn't prevent sacks and stuff. So.
Yeah.
It was like the bar, Katie barred the door, but she couldn't bar the door, and it came right down on her. That's the way it is.
Go
you
Broncos.
get your offensive lineman. Just saying. I don't know.
Go Broncos.
Oh yeah. Yep. No, they're just happy to be there.
Yep.
All right, I'll let you go.
All right, take care.
You got it.
Yeah.
Bye.